During 2020, while everybody was probably at home, not working, I was seeing clients from what, 8 a.m. to sometimes 9 p.m. People don't just come to us because everything is okay in their lives. They come to us because they have issues and they're trying to get to and overcome.
I remember we were making 5K a month and negative income producing that. It was 5K revenue generated, but losing money every month because we were paying for team members and all the expenses.
There was a lot of times where I was like, I'm not doing this no more.
So what do you think made us actually just, I'll say, put faith in it and actually just push through and keep going? Because we had every reason to just stop.
What made me keep going is
And to put numbers into place too. That was from the 5K point to 30K to 70K. 100 was the next milestone, and now we're like around 130 to 160 range.
I want to be the greatest agency in Arizona.
All right, so this is the first client interview. Not even a client interview. This is just an interview with the world's best clinician and the world's best growth operator, business consultant over here. And we're just going to talk and have some conversations about everything. We haven't even done this before as far as documenting. I've just been getting clips of us building it, so it's actually cool that we're doing this now. All right, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I am Katrina Harrell. I am a licensed professional counselor, owner of Wholeness to Peace Care Services. I am also licensed by the board as I'm a board-approved clinical supervisor. His mother.
okay. I'm Anthony Harrell. I am the growth operator, COO here at Wholeness to Peace.
Man, a few words.
Man, a few words. Big impact. Let's go.
Well, I guess you can hold that too, since you're center, but I got some questions to ask you. But mainly, how does it feel to be where you are today?
Sometimes I just sit back and I'm shocked at the growth that we have experienced. Like you visioned it, but you never. When I first envisioned it, I was like, okay, God, this is a vision that you've given me, but I don't know how this is going to happen. So it's just sitting back watching it. I'm still at awe to see that we are here today.
Okay. You said we are here. Can you take us back then to how it started, and the problems at the time?
So when it comes to how it started, or are you referring to like just me seeing myself here, like me knowing that this was a problem that I had to solve or a vision for me?
Yeah, like what problems were you facing, I guess, as far as this?
When Wholeness to Peace came about, it was in 2020. So I was actually contracted at a church doing individual outpatient work for this church, and we were working on. I had my supervisor wanted me to work on a reunification program because I was the only child clinician at the organization at the time, and so 2020 happened. It was March 2020. We all got sent home. Right, we got sent home. We hadn't gone, they hadn't transitioned to all of my clients being on all the insurance panels and things like that. So I had a lot of cash paying clients at the time. But when everyone got sent home, some people were not working. A lot of people were depending on their insurances to be seen. They could not pay cash or didn't necessarily want to. And some people more people wanted to be seen at the time. And so what he said he would help me do was get on insurance panels. I was like, oh, I can find something, like we can pay somebody to do it. He looked it up. He was like, nah, I can do that. And so once he did that, that's when Wholeness to Peace was birthed. Like during 2020, while everybody was probably at home, not working, I was seeing clients from 8 a.m. to sometimes 9 p.m. at night.
But I would challenge when it actually was birthed, I would say it was actually Wholeness to Peace was birthed or became a thought the year you were getting your hours and that person decided not to sign off on your documentation and they kind of crushed you because now you had to start 2 years worth of hours all over again. And you said, I don't want anyone else to have to go through that when it comes, because there's enough stress to have to learn how to be a clinician, pass the exams, deal with other people's problems, and then be in an environment to where they're not showing any care for the people who are actually doing the work in the field. And so I believe that sparked, on top of COVID, kind of gave you that push. But I would say that was actually what sparked you building Wholeness to Peace, was that. Because after that is when you started the, hey, maybe I could do it on my own. Like, how do I get my, not how to do it, but you, like, it started to question and started you thinking to build something different.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely a space where I was like, I'm expected to be a caregiver and carry other people's problems, but who's caring for me? And like, there's a lot of us in this field who are expected to do that, right? Carry people's problems. People don't just come to us because everything is okay in their lives. They come to us because they have issues and they're trying to get to and overcome, like a crisis typically.
Come to you. I'm not the clinician.
Well, when I say yes, to me, not us, but when I say us, I'm referring to anyone who has decided to be a counselor, a social worker in behavioral health in this field. They don't come to us because everything is going well in their lives. And so at the time, you're right, I was crushed. I lost over 1,000 hours of work. Because in order to become independently licensed, you needed at the time 3,200 hours, and I lost 1,000. So I had to revamp and try to get those hours. And I'm like, my emotional well-being was not okay, and so I felt like you need to be able to work for a place where you can feel cared for, and that will then help you to produce transformation in the clients that you're called to care for, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
So yeah, you're right.
So fast forward to 2023, you started a DSP program. You have therapists underneath you, getting clinical supervision.
A few, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Around that time, can you remember what problems or what you were feeling around that time? I'll say before we started actually being fully on board to help.
I was, when it came to caregiving, I was really focused on the people side of it, more so like the clinician side of it. So I was like, yeah, you don't really have to do, I'll supervise you and you can give me like maybe 5 hours of work. And that wasn't realistic, because truth of the matter is that's not even going to help them get to their required hours. So I had to deal with my emotional setback so that I could actually truly begin to mentor people to do the work.
What was that emotional setback at the time?
Again, it was like, I was more focused on how they were doing, right? How my supervisees were doing.
2023 is...
We were over there or over here? Remember we had the other...
I think we moved over here in 2020.
We moved into this office.
3.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kamal's on board. Yeah. DSP program starting up.
Oh, okay.
Now, when it came to the DSP program starting up, Kamal had reached out to me, and he was like, Katrina... first of all, he wanted supervision, because...
Well, after that, though, like in the time of being there, he's already on board the team, and you're starting it. What was that like in the beginning phase?
I was like tiptoeing around everything. I'm not doing like all of this. Like, no, I got the board to answer to, and I didn't necessarily know how I was going to do all of it and deal with all the rules that were in place. I was afraid. Like, I was operating in fear, to be honest with you, and overwhelmed.
That makes sense. And then I remember we were making $5K a month and negative income producing though. It was $5K revenue generated, but losing money every month because we were paying for team members and all the
Space.
expenses.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time?
Yeah. There was a lot of times where I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I think I said that.
I'll just go be. You said I'll just go be a director somewhere else, and I can make
Yeah.
more. I can. It
I
can be
can make more
stable.
money.
I can make more money.
What?
Yeah. I
And
don't want
then-
to. I don't want to run more. Like this is a lot
I was like, why couldn't you solve those on your own?
because it was a lot. I wasn't just dealing with my own clients. I was dealing with other people's clients, other people's emotions, other people's feelings, and then numbers. Like
Well-
I didn't get into this for numbers either.
Well, I'll add on that. I would say, like going through school, like you going through school didn't teach you how to run your own practice.
Not at all.
There was no, here's how you build it. It was more like, here's how to be a therapist, but not how to actually run your own therapy business.
Right. The insurances, the codes, like all of that stuff we had to, and I won't say we had to learn how to do because I still haven't. You guys came on and you helped to manage a lot of that stuff.
How's your life and business different today than compared to then?
I mean, we have we have more people doing the work, right? We have regular business meetings. I feel like I'm more knowledgeable about the stuff, but I don't necessarily have to be. There's a song that I listen to. It's like, I don't necessarily, if I don't know my numbers, I find the people who do, right, who can actually do it. And we have people on the team who can do the things that I don't necessarily have to do. So I've learned to delegate and be okay with delegating.
And what would y'all say are specific strategies or most game-changing strategies and systems that were implemented that helped with that? I like both of y'all. I want to see what both y'all's perspective is.
Your perspective.
Let me have your perspective first. I've been doing a lot of the talking, so go ahead.
So I would say the number one thing, like, because I'm data driven, so being able to pull metrics and understand that the business is healthy, that team members are doing, not just doing the work, but doing quality work. So having those systems in place makes it easier to make decisions on when to hire, when maybe it's time to let someone go, or hey, reestablish how we're presenting training and onboarding. So all those systems actually help us create a well-oiled machine that assists not only in helping people grow, but helping the business grow too. So you're not going off gut feeling. I would hear that a lot. Oh, I feel like so-and-so is not doing this. Or I think we should do that. And it's like, but what's driving us feeling or thinking outside of I need numbers. I need to understand, okay, you feel that way, but what says we need to hire more people? What says this is actually working outside of feelings?
Okay, and so when he says feelings, he's talking about me because I'm a feel person, right? So he has to actually be like, okay, let's not work on feelings. I don't want to know what your feelings are. So the fact that he redirects me in some of those areas, and then he's showing me like he's like, I'll come in from the office, and he's like, I'm gonna need you to sit down and look at this. Right, you actually have to take time and sit down and look.
But he did say like what
this.
systems helped.
Yeah, what's
So the system.
Makes sense, though.
He has me look at the systems that you guys have created.
You're in the feeling business, though.
Yeah.
You're in the feeling and
Yeah.
people business, so you're like always on and in tune with that superpower. So it would make sense that that's where you lead with.
Yes, and I know my clients are I'm transforming my clients, but it helps more to see that I'm not the only one. Like the systems that you guys have created for the business to
Like what
keep.
systems?
So the Herald Suite, right? It's the tracking, the things that actually align with the audit, like those things that that cause me to be fear driven. You guys have solved the problem for that. Like we can actually look at the numbers. When we had the auditors come in, they were able to look and see. I can actually go in and see that you guys are helping our members, right? Because they call them members. And he was like, I can see that you guys are helping the members. They were looking at the notes, and a lot of that is driven by the systems that you guys created that we're implementing. We're actually requiring our leaders to update and follow, and then our individuals, we're requiring them to do it.
So it's a lot of that automation that says, hey, this client file needs X, Y, and Z, which aligns with the audits. So it helps us stay ahead of the game versus having them come in and say, hey, you missed all these points. We're able to catch a lot of that early because of the Hero Suite that has that automation that's built in that alerts everyone to understand where the client is and where we need to be as far as making sure files and documentation, the things align with the requirements that we get from the insurance panels.
Right. And we're still able to check in with our people, right?
Yeah.
So I can still make sure that they're good, make sure that they're taken care of so that they can be effective with the clients that they take care of, and still look at the numbers and they can know that they're doing a good job and they're actually going out and transforming lives because this is coming back to us.
Yeah.
And so our supervisors are still checking in with them and then making sure that they're aware of that.
And before we had those other systems in place, we went from the 5K mark earlier 23 or mid, and in September we hit the 30K mark, but we were still not bringing enough in as far as netting, and we had to have that hard conversation as a family on the couch if this is a business that we should even be running. Do y'all remember that? Y'all remember that conversation?
I do remember that because that came in when we were looking at the profit first model. So then we knew we had to get deeper into the financial numbers to make sure that what we were doing was making sense overall for the business. To make sure, like, yes, we should invest all this time and effort into it because it actually can be. I mean, yes, we want to make sure we can change lives and be impactful, but if you can't afford to keep the lights on, like, you're not going to have any type of impact on the community. So we had to actually button up the system to where we now had to start looking at the metric as far as on the financial piece and what that looked like and the expenses.
Yeah, and I think one of my mentors, Darius Daniels, right, when he's talking to us about being in the marketplace, he does put an emphasis on the fact that, I mean, we can't help if we don't have anything to help offer, right? So I really had to consider the fact that the numbers make a difference, and I can give more if I'm bringing in more. So I had to be okay with also having hard conversations with those who are underneath me and knowing that I'm not the people who only cared about that.
Yeah. And what actually made us keep going? Because at that time, that was just one of many things in our life that was going on where it felt like we were just getting kicked over and over again, in my own words. So, like, family passing, businesses, our real estate investment, and all that stress, all that stuff was all. I mean, I got laid off. There's a lot of stuff going on at that time. So what do you think made us actually just, I'll say, put faith in it and actually just push through and keep going? Because we had every reason to just stop.
So although I would say I'm giving up, this was a call. And the reminder for me was that if it was a vision given to me, right? And it's not something that I would have just chosen to do. And if I could have just done it myself, it wouldn't have been a calling, like it wouldn't have been given to me. So I knew I had to trust in God in order to be able to do it. And it's something, again, it's a purpose driven, like this is what he's called me to do. And so because he called me to do it, we're going to do it. And he kept showing me time and time again that I've called you to this. So after every incident that we had, he'd come out and say, see, this is what I showed you. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is trust me.
And what about you, Dad? Because we lost Big Mama, your mom, at that, like, not even long from that. Mm-hmm. So what kept you motivated and made you believe this is something we should build and keep going with?
So for me, I did hear her heart as far as what she wanted to build, as far as when it came to a mental health agency. And now the language I have for that is to be the best mental health agency in Arizona. But what made me keep going is going to be like the exposure. So when I say exposure, I'm listening to Eric Thomas. I'm on David Shan's morning meetup. I've been exposed to Darius Daniels when she listened to the leadership and just listening to their stories, what they went through, how it's not easy to build something that's great, and just constantly listening to those podcasts, just being who I am, right? Overall wanting, and then long term, right? Building something that outlives us. Like we're trying to build legacy. It's not just about us, but it's also about our kids, our grandkids, or kids. Like it's just building something that they would be able not to have to start over from scratch. Because like we have to start over. Like we're starting from scratch. No one sit us down and say, hey, here's how you would be successful. Here's how you leave a financial legacy. Here's how you teach your kids to build. Like we never received that, so I didn't want anyone behind us to have to figure it out from scratch. And so I was like, when it gets tough and life was hitting, it's like that's just life. But my future vision of where we're going was like, because I'm so clear on that, I'm like, I can't give up. Like even though it's like, dang, this is hard, this sucks. It's like I just kept focused on that. And again, the mentors and listening to Eric Thomas was probably my morning routine. It's like, I can, I will, and I must. That was my go get it. And after that, it was like, and then the other exposure to the other entrepreneurs is like, oh, we can do this. Like, here are the steps. We can do this. We can do this. So,
yeah, I just enjoy watching you guys work together too. Like, there was just something that brought joy. It brings joy to see how well you guys just work together, and you're doing it to help me. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just at awe, and I love God for that. That's so.
And to put numbers into place too, just 'cause I'm a numbers person, that was from the 5K point to 30K to 70K, 100 was the next milestone, and now we're like around 130 to 160 range, and so we see it growing and putting all the work into place.
And for clarification, that's per month.
And that's monthly.
And I struggled with that. I struggled with him even talking about numbers. Like, don't be telling my business about how much money like we're bringing in, because that's not what this is about. I don't want people to believe that this is what I'm in it to do, because that's not why I'm doing this. So that has been that's been something really hard for me.
And for me, it's like, it's a byproduct for us. Like, we set a baseline of what great care looks like, based on what she said great care looks like, and we put numbers to it so we know we're hitting that marker. Yeah. So money is like the byproduct of serving clients, serving the team, serving people, I would say. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And what would you say to someone that was stuck, or that is stuck in that same spot right now? Because there are those who are experiencing that low.
Here's the thing. When you know your heart and you're out to do it for the right reasons, just commit to it. Commit to it and trust. I'm going to say trust God. Like, if he gave you the vision and this is what you were called to do, keep working at it. And he'll send you everything and everyone you need. Like, literally, I've heard people say, what you need is in the house. What I needed has been in my house all along. And we're working together to make things happen.
And then to add on top of that, I would say you do have to invest in yourself, because yes, God's going to give you the vision. He's going to give you everything you need in house. But if you don't invest in yourself and take the needed steps to get things moving, then to me, it's like, it's kind of just, you're just hoping and wishing, right? You're not actually putting any action behind that. So you definitely have to invest in yourself.
For sure. And then, I mean, we're about to wrap this up. You're good. And then I got thrown off a little bit. So that's what you say, someone that's stuck. And then if anyone is thinking about getting help or taking that leap to get the right help to build it the right way, what would you say to them?
Me? I would say, talk to my husband and my son. They'll definitely help you. But again, be willing to invest in yourself. Get the right people on board who can help you move forward with answering the call. And then trust that you were called for a reason.
My last question is, what's the vision for what's next? The next year to 5 year. What does that vision look like?
So I want to be the greatest agency in Arizona, but I want to be a place where people feel cared for. When I say people feel cared for, not just the clients who come into our organization, but the people who work for our organization. I want them to feel cared for as well. So the people who are offering the help, I need them to feel whole, so that they can effectively go out and transform lives.
And then for me, retiring myself from my 9 to 5, that is my next thing. And then, yeah, just being able to focus in on the entrepreneur side and then build legacy. That's my next 5-year plan. Building legacy for the family.
Well, this is evidence and proof of what y'all said. So when we do a check-in, it's accountability on why you didn't do it or how you got there. But thank you both. I just had questions to share. Yeah. Anything else? You good?
I'm good. That's it. That was good.
Thank you.